The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad. More and more cash-strapped Filipinos are turning to lending apps, but the government tells the public to do some research first before agreeing to any terms. Yeda Pascual with the details.
Money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. This is what digital lending applications offer to Pinoys who are in immediate need for cash. Compared to traditional banks, lending apps often involve simpler requirements. All you need is a smartphone and internet access, and you can start processing your online loan application. With the push of a button, you can just upload documents and files instead of submitting them personally. But the question is, are these platforms safe to use? One downside is, unlike banks, some online lenders resort to unconventional means to retrieve the money they lend.
Ang dumalabas na collateral para makasingil sila ay yung reputasyon ng tao. Pagka hindi raw sila nakapagbayad, ina-access yung phone book nila, tapos pinapahiya sila sa kanilang mga phone book contacts. So yun yung karamihan na allegation na kukuha natin.
That's why the National Privacy Commission has released a set of guidelines to help the public avoid intimidation and harassment from online lenders. The amended guidelines prohibit lenders from processing borrowers' personal mobile phone information, including access to their contacts. Under the Data Privacy Act of 2012, unauthorized online lenders could face up to 6 years imprisonment and fines of up to 4 million pesos.
Besides on, last year, nilabas ng NPC ang Circular on Administrative Fine. So iba pa po ito sa criminal penalties. Yung administrative fine as high as 5 million. So may fine ka na 5 million, pwede pang mag-proceed sa criminal prosecution na may penalty ng 4 million and 6 years imprisonment.
Despite the sanctions imposed, the NPC reminds consumers to always conduct background checks before trusting loan companies. Mobile journalist Yeda Pascual, we are One News.
Meanwhile, Malacanang is warning the public against individuals offering government jobs for a fee. This was after 8 supposed presidential appointees went to the palace for their oath-taking on Friday. The victims said that a certain Eduardo Jokno and Johnson C. offered them government positions. The two reportedly claimed to be representatives from the Office of the Executive Secretary. In order to secure the positions, the victims were allegedly made to pay huge sums of money. NBI is now investigating the incident. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad. World Health Organization Chief Tedros Ghebreyesus is not yet keen to demote COVID-19's emergency status. The WHO has been studying whether the pandemic still merits the world's highest alert. Speaking at their COVID-19 Emergency Committee meeting on Friday, Ghebreyesus said that the world has come a long way since the pandemic began. However, he noted the surge in COVID cases and deaths after the holidays, most of which were from China. The divide between Britain's rich and poor has grown larger 3 years into the rule of the Conservative Party. Let's find out what changed since the Tories rose into power in 2019 in this Bloomberg report.
Is the UK levelling up? The data suggests not. In 2019, the Conservative Party won an election promising to level up Britain.
You've changed the future of our country.
Yes.
For the better.
That's to say, spread wealth and opportunity across the country to close the gap with the richer region of London and the South East. Bloomberg is tracking the progress of levelling up against the government's own metrics, which include measures such as pay, productivity and well-being. And the picture is getting worse. Since 2019, 77% of constituencies have fallen further behind London and the South East. In the so-called red wall seats, the former industrial heartlands that swung from Labour to Conservative at the last election, 97% are losing ground against London. And there are direct levers the government could be pulling to reduce regional inequality, but it's not. In transport, for example, London and the South East received £905 of spending per head at the last count. That compares to just £442 per head in the North East, and that gap has widened since 2019. The spending gap on overall public services has also widened in favour of the capital. The danger for Rishi Sunak is he risks an electoral backlash if voters feel like the Conservatives have not delivered on the levelling up promise.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The remains of slain Kuwait OFW Julie B. Ranara are back in the country. Authorities will conduct an autopsy on the body to determine additional information on her death. Ranara's recruitment agency has also been suspended and will be blacklisted along with her Kuwaiti employer. Rescue teams continue to search for the passengers of the single-engine aircraft that went missing in Isabela, but families of the passengers appealed to authorities to fast-track the search. And United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III will visit the Philippines soon. There's no word yet on when this visit will take place, but Austin is scheduled to leave the U.S. on Sunday. His visit comes just 2 months after that of U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris in November of last year. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Angela Lagunsad. We are One News.